My name is Emily Baumgartner, and I'm an assistant professor of emerging media technology. I want to thank JR and the Elliots for this opportunity. I've wanted to do something like this for a long time. I just haven't had the time to do it, and this got me to do it. So this is great. My PhD is in educational psychology and technology. Graduated from here actually. And through that whole experience, I was really interested in emerging technologies and computational thinking. I actually ended up working at a software company for 10 years prior to kind of switching to academia. And I really liked working with teachers. I really liked seeing their confidence grow in certain areas. And one of my passions was always like computer science, programming, that kind of stuff. So hence why I worked at a software company for 10 years. And I can say we have this really cool program called Teach CS, where we have a grant through the state of Ohio where we are able to give teachers the opportunity to get a master's degree in educational technology, and then they can take the CS endorsement test after they are finished with the program. So,
which means they get to do it for free.
Yes, it's free. So they get a free master's degree or a certificate if they already have a master's, and then they get endorsed. But that program, as amazing as it is, like we only have 35 teachers essentially in each cohort. So there's thousands and thousands of teachers in the community, and there's only a couple that really get to do this program. So I was trying to think of ways of bringing this program kind of more to more people in still like a free fashion. Obviously, it's not a free master's degree, what I'm trying to do, but hopefully it can help some teachers in the future. But as you can see from all of my props, my project is trying to develop, I forgot to talk about that too, it's fine. Trying to develop workshops for teachers to learn coding through robotics. One of the other reasons I am really passionate about this, one of my kind of side hobbies is competing in combat robotics, and then I also help judge VEX tournaments for high schoolers. So it's something that I'm really passionate about, and I love seeing kids getting really involved in robotics. Like a lot of them end up doing engineering or some STEM related majors. I'm actually doing a study on that right now to see like if these robotics programs help kids kind of go into that direction. So that's kind of the why of why this project was kind of important for me. But the kind of like how might we my whole thing is like trying to build that confidence of teachers, trying to show them that they can do this. Coding is so scary for teachers, especially in subjects that are not STEM related. We have social study teachers, we have English teachers that go through the Teach CS program, and they're like, this is so much, like there's so much to know about coding. And I wanted to kind of bring it in a way that's a little bit more accessible. And I kind of have two directions of that, of using robots that exist, and also using technology through browsers that exist. So the how might we empower K-12 teachers with accessible resources and hands-on experiences that build confidence and support the integration of coding and robotics throughout grade levels and subject areas. So basically, education has a lot of issues with cost right now, and funding, and being able to afford the technology that people need. I actually have some teachers in the cohort right now that they don't have hardly any money in their districts to purchase technology. So I was trying to figure out ways to still bring this type of work into the community without being forced to buy new things. So I kind of, and you'll see with some of the things I'm going to talk about, like kind of how that is approached. Having the buy-in from teachers, again, coding is so super scary to a lot of teachers. My mom was a teacher for her whole career, and I told her like, I want to do this, and she's like, I can't do that. That's so hard. So my approach is to try to make this a little bit more accessible by making it scalable. So kind of starting with the very basics and having technology and having ideas that can kind of build as they become more comfortable teaching it and as their students become more comfortable learning it. And then kind of goes along with that experience. So I really want to make these scalable workshops where they can take no matter what level they might be at. So maybe someone's husband likes to have Arduinos in their house and they already kind of know what's going on versus someone that's brand new to coding and has no idea how to do anything. So I want to make sure that no matter where they're at, they can take something from those workshops. And then, some of the impacts that I'm hoping to achieve is having more implementation of coding and computer science in schools. There's a big push by the state of Ohio right now to bring CS education into schools, and teachers are not sure how to teach it, and teachers don't know how to add it into their curriculum that's already super packed with things. So my idea was to have ways that they can kind of add things to that and be able to do it in any subject area and not just a computer science class. The other thing is having credit for professional development. So I want to bring these as, hey, you can get hours for your professional development that most teachers are required to do. I'm hoping to have confident teachers, and at least a little bit. Maybe even having something really small to implement is a win in my book. I remember one of my teachers that went through the Teach CS program. She emailed me a couple weeks ago. She's like, I just want to tell you, I put the coding language we use in that class. Like, I put it in the class, the kids loved it. I felt confident teaching it. And that was just so cool. That's what I'm hoping to do with this as well. And then just a path forward into increasing that CS knowledge, throughout the community. So briefly, what a workshop might look like. I want to have kind of a reflection and discussion first of what they know, what they want to get out of this workshop. Talk about the standards. So if you are unaware, each grade level has specific standards for computer science education. The state of Ohio has standards that Ohio teachers are supposed to implement, and then we have it's called CSTA. It's Computer Science Teachers of America, or something like that. They also have standards. They're pretty closely aligned, but I'm kind of focusing more on the Ohio ones since we're in Ohio. Introduce the basic concepts of algorithms, variables, and coding. Introduce robot stations, which I'll show in a second. For the younger learners, I want to also have screen-free ideas because, again, not every school has the technology. Not every school can even provide Chromebooks or computers to their students. So I want to make sure that even those districts that don't have that opportunity still can get something out of this and still be able to do something with this. Having teachers explore stations. So I'm going to kind of have different stations of different robots and some brief activities for them to do. And then I also created a website of resources. Originally, I was going to do a take-home thing, but I think having a website that's live and I can update constantly works a little better, which I got ideas from people in this. So show my resources real quick. So I created, it's growing as I'm going. So websites to have some ideas for technology and hardware. So I show what standards these kind of go with. So both the CSTA and the Ohio standards. And then I have the robot with a link to where they can purchase it, how much it costs, who it's best for, what it's doing, pros and cons. So the first one, I'm gonna just show the ones I have. Oh, sorry, in front of my face. So this is an Ozobot. It's very small. So one of the cons is a little kid might throw it across the room, and that's not ideal. So the cool thing about this is you don't need a device with it. Bad thing about this is it can be expensive. So $175 for this little guy is maybe a lot for some districts. Other districts, not so much. So that's kind of why I wanted to have different price points of some technology and then have a screen-free resources for others. But basically, it comes in this really nice kit that has these color-coded markers, and kids can make your robot do certain things with the colors that they choose. Hopefully this works. So like, it's kind of just on a table, but basically this is a line following robot where it has a black line. It worked. I swear it worked right before I started like before everyone started. Oh, there we go. So this actually follows a line, and then based on the color codes, it'll go slower or faster. I know it's kind of hard to see, so now it's going faster. So this is really good for young learners because they're not used to text-based programming. We can talk about algorithms and how to give instructions to the robot, and it'll follow the instructions. So it's a really neat robot. Our AT&T classroom on campus, they use these with the students, so they're neat. Little expensive, but there's some pros and cons to all of them. And also it has a block coding version as well that you can actually plug these into computers and block code, so it's scalable, which is really nice. I had never actually heard of these ones. These are called Edison bots, and they're only $45, so it's a lot more affordable. These are I really enjoy learning about these. It just has a USB plug on the that's embedded. It has Lego, so kids can like put Legos and build structures on them. And again, like they're a little bit cheaper. I think this is a really nice scalable option as well because you can follow a line, or it has these it's kind of hard to see. These mats have these barcodes on them, so you can scan the barcode and it'll give the robot instructions to do something. I'm gonna try this. We're gonna try to say this bounce in. That's the way it works. It works on home right here. Oh, I promise it works. It might be the light even here. There's like a very specific spot you have to put it in to make it work. That was when you want to show it is when things don't work. That's okay. But we have this also has a block coding, so this is it's an in-browser platform, so you don't have to download anything additional. You can add like control to move forward or back. You can add loops essentially. I can move the robot forward, I can move the robot back, and then I can just plug it in and upload right to the robot. So again, scalable. So, I could put actually 2 robots in here and they will sumo wrestle and try to like switch each other out. So these are, I really enjoyed learning about these because I had never heard of them. So these are more for like the younger learners for K through 5-ish. I have a couple extra that I didn't buy. 4 through 8, I focus more on the micro bit because I learned through working with the teachers and the teach staff program that a lot of schools actually have these already, and I had never heard of it before. So I did a little bit more research into microbit. There's accessories. It's basically like a easier version of an Arduino for younger learners. Has block coding again. Has accessories. You can build a little robot with microbit. So cool stuff. Edison also works for older learners. And then high school, I focus more on Arduino because Arduinos are $20. So pretty affordable. You don't need a whole lot of, you can do a whole lot without anything extra with Arduino. And actually, if you have heard of Tinkercad, which is in browser, they actually have an Arduino simulator. So you can do that without even buying Arduino. So you can actually learn Arduino coding language without anything. This inventor's kit, exactly what I used when I bought the robotics class. I'm sorry. But it comes with, wheels and motors and different jumper wires to work with the Arduino into a breadboard to code. Actually, with this kit, you can create a robot that will be autonomous. There's a lot you can do with Arduino. I tried to like compile some things on my little website to show some of the things. And then one of the things I wanted to focus on as well is being able to print some things as well. So I was kind of playing around with some of the things that are online and kind of modifying to see how easy it is to use. But these are just like plates I printed based on existing things and kind of tweaks a little bit. But you can screw in the Arduino into these and like add a battery and motor and basically have a robot with just a couple components as opposed to buying this whole kit. So I was trying to find some more cost-effective ways to still make a robot without buying $100 kits because these kits are about $100. So that's kind of the gist of what I was kind of focusing on. And then like building this website. So after a workshop, teachers can go back and like look at the robots they got to play with and see lesson plans that might align with those robots, as well as some browser-based ones if they don't have the ability to buy robots. Code.org is a wonderful tool. I have a lot of their lesson plans in there for teachers. So I have like some screen-free options. Code.org actually has a whole unplugged, and then like what I thought were the best based off of the standards for those learners. And they kind of like scale as well. So they actually have like a whole curriculum for K through 3, actually goes up to college on their site, but this is just the K through 3 page. But those workshops that I want to do, I want to kind of break down into 3 groups: the K through 3, 4 through 8, and the 9 through 12, because as you can see, like a kindergartner playing with a robot's a little different than a high schooler trying to use an Arduino. So I want to make sure that I'm kind of hitting target age groups. So I'm not teaching Arduino to a kindergarten teacher because they're never going to use it. And then one other thing I want to do is create videos that kind of go along with some of the lesson plans / some of the build your own robots. So they don't have to go searching for, I don't know what screws they need. I don't know where they go. Or I want it to be like all inclusive, that they can just go to the site and find everything they need without feeling overwhelmed. And again, I want to continually update this as much as I can as things change and keep that up to date. Some of the things that I really liked, the sessions that we had throughout the 6 weeks of really delving deep into why we want to do this and what our impacts are and our challenges. And, a lot of people, it's going to start beeping. It's turning off. One of the things I kind of struggle with is like, how do we build this confidence? Like, are we able to just have a 2-hour workshop and someone's like, yes, I can do this now? I don't think it might be true for some people. I don't think it's true for everybody. But one of the things, is building that community with these workshops, kind of like what Min Young was talking about, like having a community where teachers can kind of meet other teachers and, hey, we're doing the same thing. Hey, we're doing something similar, and be able to have that community. I'm trying to figure out, like, in the future, like what that might look like. Like, if that means you have someone you can email for questions, or have like a coach that helps teachers kind of implement this stuff. And that kind of goes with like, how do we provide that extra support? And that's something I'm trying to work through as well, of how they can have support in the future, and if there's a place for them to ask questions, or can those workshops keep going for a long period of time where they can keep coming back and learning new things. Something I learned was a lot of these things can be taught without any of this stuff. They can be taught with paper and pens. And, playing Simon Says is literally an example of an algorithm. So teachers, don't need all of this technology. It is nice to have it if you can, but I wanted to have different price points because not every district has the same abilities as others. So yeah. And then designing workshops with multiple experience levels can be really beneficial, because what I've learned, through my years of teaching is sometimes people just teach other people at the same time. Like, I've learned so much from my own students. I know teachers tell me all the time, like, I did a project where students were using Minecraft in education to learn coding, and the teacher was learning how to do it like through the students. So I thought that was, that's something that happens a lot, especially with Minecraft. I don't really know Minecraft very well, but technology also becomes outdated. So some of the robots that I remember from when I was doing more with teachers like 10 years ago, like those aren't even used anymore. Lego just stopped service for one of their really popular Lego robots. So, stuff becomes outdated and technology changes. So that's kind of why I really liked the website idea to kind of update it as things change. Um, so my future is I want to host 3 groups of workshops here at the DI Hub. Like I said, K through 3, 4 through 8, and 9 through 12. I want to also have pre-service teachers come as well because they're going to be in a classroom soon. And I think this could be helpful. They do get a week of computational thinking in one of their classes, but that's not a whole lot of time, and they learn Scratch. And Scratch isn't really used in high school, so I don't think that's super helpful for the high school teachers. But it's helpful to learn this kind of concept, but I think really getting into something that they might be teaching in the future would be more helpful. I want to contact the local schools and the teachers that are even in Teach CS to try to have their colleagues come as well. And then I also want to kind of learn from this and see what teachers need by doing surveys. I'm always really interested in implications for what the future might look like and why does this stuff matter and why do they even care to come to this to learn. So I want to know what teachers need and what if they did help, if these workshops did help them want to implement the stuff in their classrooms.
Questions for Elliot?
Yeah.
Love the website.
Oh, thank you.
Do you envision that the empowerment might happen as much through the website as through the workshops? Or
I
do you
think
think that the workshops are still?
I think the workshops will, I think everything in person, I think it's better. Just having your hands on it, doing the thing. I think the website can be a good supplement to the workshops where, if they forget something or if, I really like this Edison bot, what can I do with it? Just kind of having those kind of in a spot where they can find it. But I think I really want to try to build that community, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. I think the workshops are a good start, but what does that look like? Is it an online community? Is it a Discord server? What is that? What might that be?
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of want to talk to teachers more to see what might work best for them too.
As you were presenting, I was thinking, I don't imagine it would be very long before you would have to potentially create a website resource for others to teach the workshop.
Oh yeah.
So that it would be teaching
Yes.
to scale the workshop aspect as well.
Yeah. And something that I have learned through my robotics communities is there are a lot of people in those communities that are teachers and they're teaching other students. And we actually made a Discord for robotics educators. So maybe something like that, because it's not super popular right now. We only have 30 or 40 people in it right now, and there's not a whole lot of conversation, but I really want to try to do something with that.
No, I love it. It's super cool. I was just thinking as we were kind of talking, I think one of the cool things about these the kind of mats that might be interesting is I love how the mat can be designed as a platform for this kind of engagement. So one, there's teachers that teach together, but they learn on a mat, but then they can also take that mat and move them back to the classroom and things like that. I just really love this idea of
Yeah.
an IKEA mat. It teaches you how to build your robot, but maybe you teach them too.
Yeah, I actually haven't used these as much before. Everything I've really done has been really focused more on Arduino, but this is a really cool, I think, just easy way to visualize and to show in one spot with no time.
You don't even have to go to the website, it's just on the
Yeah.
mat, so you just unroll it, everything starts going.
It'd be great if it would work. I can show you. I promise it did work. Did you? Oh, I missed that. I want to try out more times. I remember what I did to make it work. I promise it works before. Yeah.
I have a question about the current program.
Yeah.
Where you said, I think cohorts of 35 teachers. It sounds like, is it a really competitive process to be able to do the program?
Yes, we have to turn a lot of. I'm not part of that process. I teach their first coding class in that program, but yes, we have to turn a lot of people away because we do get a lot of applicants, and it's hard to teach people away that actually want to learn the stuff, so.
You find that, I'm sorry.
Sorry, that's like that applicant pool that doesn't get accepted is like the automatic audience for your
Yeah.
workshop. All right, back to the question. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks.